CTV News with Ricardo Veneza.
Economically, we have such power over Canada. I'd rather not use it, but they did something with our tech companies today trying to copy Europe. You know, they copied Europe. It's not going to work out well for Europe either, and it's not going to work out well for Canada.
A new tech tax appears to have earned the president's ire, abruptly terminating trade talks with Canada. And Donald Trump says his team is ready to set a new tariff toll. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest economic headwinds coming from south of the border. Donald Trump announcing today he's walking away from negotiations with Canada. As CTV's Judy Trin reports, Trump's coziness with American tech leaders may be impacting negotiations.
As the Prime Minister was hosting a virtual meeting to update his cabinet on U.S. trade negotiations, the president dropped a bombshell. On social media, Trump said because of Canada's digital services tax on American technology companies, he's terminating all discussions on trade with Canada, effective immediately.
We have all the cards. We have every single one. We don't want to do anything bad, but they have, economically, we have such power over Canada.
Speaking to CTV News after the Trump announcement, the Foreign Affairs Minister says the government is committed to continuing talks.
We will seek to have these unjustified tariffs removed. And that is the reason why we, because of the complexity of the negotiations, will not be having that conversation in public.
Tech companies that have revenues of more than $20 million, like Google, Meta, and Airbnb, are subject to the 3% digital sales tax. The first payment is due Monday. It's unclear if the Prime Minister knew this was coming, but in Brussels earlier this week, Carney spoke more cautiously about the progress of trade talks.
We'll do what's right for Canada. We're working hard to get a deal, but we'll accept the right deal with the United States. The right deal is possible, but it's nothing's assured.
Over the past several years, both the Biden administration and Trump have called the digital tax discriminatory against American companies. This former deputy prime minister says the tax can be scrapped to save negotiations.
I think the digital services tax is expendable in the context of getting a trade negotiation settled with the United States. But I don't think that if you've got something in a negotiation that you're willing to give up, you don't offer that off the top.
For months, the government has been trying to get punishing U.S. tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos removed and stave off future duties. Now Trump says he will tell Canada, along with other countries, what tariff rate it will pay. The Parliamentary Budget Officer estimates that the federal government would get more than $7 billion over 5 years with the digital services tax. Analysts say it's unlikely Donald Trump will return to the negotiating table without the removal or pause of this tax. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, now to Wheatley, where officials continue to investigate a gas leak in the town that led to a temporary evacuation order. It was an unwelcome reminder of the 2021 explosion in the town and the long recovery that followed. But the Chatham-Kent mayor is trying to calm concerns about investing in the community after the latest scare.
As the minister mentioned, they spent $50 million in the province to make this area safe. So what about the areas that they know there's wells, but there's been no work done? So I'd argue just the opposite, that it's much safer. We have monitoring wells. We understand the area. So I'm quite confident as we move forward that this is a great place to locate.
Officials are focusing on an old water well and continue to probe the area around it. As our Bob Belichico tells us, some residents are breathing a sigh of relief today, but questions remain.
If they smell gas, call 911.
That's exactly what residents did Thursday, triggering emergency procedures born from 2021's devastating explosion on Erie Street in Wheatley. Residents on Foster Street were told to leave their homes after a business owner said he smelled gas and saw something bubbling out of the sewer behind the library.
We were able to monitor the gas at source, which showed that we had quite high concentrations of hydrogen sulfide. But we're also able to utilize our new equipment.
A machine with a gas monitor drove around the area, ensuring the gas wasn't traveling any further. Chatham-Kent Fire Chief Chris Case says evacuation protocols were implemented and about 30 homes, including Becky and Bugsy Lamb, were evacuated, giving them flashbacks of being out of their home for almost 2 years following the 2021 explosion, but thankfully, the evacuation only lasted a night.
We just had a team of wonderful people show up to the house here and help get us through all this. I'm explaining what's going on as far as they know right now.
The gas flowed from the ground for about 4 hours after the initial early afternoon calls.
We're continuing to monitor. There's been no indication of anything outside of a very small perimeter that's maybe 2 feet since what time? It was about 7 o'clock last night.
Residents were allowed to return to their homes after 1 a.m.
Some homes were checked by firefighters for the presence of gas to make sure that it was safe, and none was found.
Teresa Watson, an engineer consultant familiar with the 2021 explosion, flew in and feels confident the source of the leak has been discovered.
There's more investigation to do, but right now, from the historical record checking that I've done, it appears that there was a water well there back in the 1930s.
A stack has been installed to allow the gas to escape and not build up. The area will continue to be monitored into next week.
We'll probably bring in a water well driller to properly abandon that water well. That's, of course, making sure it's confirmed that that is actually what it is.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Now, when it comes to investments, artificial intelligence appears to be the next big thing. Business leaders in the region are needing to get their heads around. Our Travis Fortnum has been looking into that for us tonight and joins us now with more. Travis.
Yes, it's looking more like this isn't just a buzzword trend. AI is already working its way into local businesses, sometimes without owners even realizing it. From inventory to marketing, entrepreneurs across Windsor, Essex are finding it's a tool worth picking up.
At his bike shop in Kingsville, Joe Klinger sells, services, and rents out two-wheeled rides of all kinds. Lately, he's had a little help from a coworker who doesn't need a paycheck.
It's invaluable, actually.
That help comes from an AI chatbot. He says he's been using it for everything from sorting out inventory to mapping out training programs.
Sometimes ideas can take years, right, to come together. And all of a sudden it gives you like a full business. Like, I mean, in moments.
Klinger says he was introduced to AI by a friend, but learned how to really harness it through seminars offered by Invest Windsor Essex's Small Business and Entrepreneurship Center.
A lot of our small business clients, they're very curious about it.
The center offers sessions on using AI to streamline operations, and later this summer will launch a new Digital Adopt Accelerator program to help owners level up even further.
We're hoping to provide individual guidance and support in implementing these easy-to-use tools.
It's not just chatbots. Comedy promoter CJ Irwin uses generative AI to polish posters and promo videos for his Windsor-based shows.
There's plugins in Photoshop that let you just select pieces and then just generate AI for those pieces.
It's not for everyone, and Irwin admits some industries might be criticized for their use of generative AI, but he says in his field, it's a natural fit.
It's silly. It's not meant to be taken too seriously, so there's no one's going to complain.
Back in Kingsville, Klinger says the technology is worth trying and recommends starting small.
Try it from a personal basis first. I was home and I was going to make a cucumber salad, and I'd give me a cucumber salad recipe, and it was great.
Joe Klinger says he's actually cooking something more than cucumber salad with AI right now, but isn't ready to share details just yet. Meanwhile, Invest Windsor Essex hopes to get even more business owners on board with the Digital Adopt Accelerator program set to launch later this summer. Ricardo.
Okay, Travis, thank you for that. Cucumber salad sounds good right about now. That's CTV's Travis Fortnum tonight. Windsor police have charged an American with an alleged sexual assault of a 4-year-old. Police say a 46-year-old man, described as a family friend, was alone with the child on an outing. The child's parent noticed significant injuries upon their return and immediately went to hospital. Police say the suspect fled to the U.S., where he was arrested by marshals in Royal Oak. The man is charged with aggravated sexual assault and sexual interference. A new program aimed at supporting some of our most vulnerable is coming to Windsor. The province is giving New Beginnings $600,000 over 3 years for a new child victim witness program in Windsor, Essex. The program is designed to reduce the trauma young victims and witnesses of crime may experience when testifying in court. Services will include court preparation, emotional support, and referrals for additional help. The province is spending $4.2 million to expand the program to 15 communities across Ontario.
to be expected to navigate these systems without supports, it's unrealistic. And we want these children and these families to come out feeling heard, to come out feeling powerful, to come out feeling supported, and that they can move forward, and that this isn't going to have those long-lasting, impacts and effects, that they can really just move forward with their lives.
Officials in the Dominican Republic say a Canadian tourist has died in the country. 33-year-old Dorian Christian McDonald was staying at a Puerto Plata hotel. Authorities say he was walking alone on a beach around 2 in the morning. An hour later, a 911 call reported a missing person on the beach. His body was found in the water. Global Affairs Canada is providing consular assistance to the family. Well, the City of Windsor's 10 newest red light cameras may not be operational until the fall. The first 10 traffic cameras were installed back in 2022 and immediately started issuing fines. More than 6,000 tickets were issued in the following year. That's over $1.2 million in fines that were paid. Installation of the next 10 cameras started this April, but they're not expected to go online until September. Meantime, construction of an EC Row eastbound on-ramp over at Howard Avenue will continue essentially for the rest of the summer. The city says the detour will last until at least August 30th, weather permitting. Improvements are being completed to the Grand Maris drain, which is just south of the expressway. In LaSalle, the town's signature LaSalle Landing project will see its loop open tomorrow with a ribbon cutting. That loop aims to allow skating in the colder months and walking in the warmer months. The total 60-acre riverfront project is pegged at $50 million. The ribbon-cutting event is set for 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. The Gordie Howe International Bridge project is helping to improve the economic picture in the region, and with its community benefits program, it's aiming to improve the cultural picture as well. Our Chris Campbell explains how a new pier project in the West End is a testament to that spirit.
This is truly a community-based project.
A new cultural pier is coming to the foot of Mill Street in Sandwich Town. Part lookout, part green space, and part historical landmark.
It's really important that there becomes a lasting legacy and connection between the construction of that bridge and this port.
Port Windsor says construction is beginning on what it calls the Queen's Dock Cultural Pier. It will include Indigenous interpretive signage, landscape spaces, and a unique suspended design with clear views of the new Gordie Howe International Bridge.
When we consulted with First Nations, they said, well, you haven't got it quite right. In our teachings and our learnings, you always enter from the left, you seek learning and knowledge, and then you exit from the right. And so you'll see the new bridge design is almost a triangle where you'll go up the left side. There's a straight walkway over top the water. You can ponder, contemplate the waterfront, the industry, the beauty, the connection with nature, and then you exit from the right.
The design honors the Indigenous history of the land, traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy.
Any kind of collaborative effort is good, especially when it's done in a good way and it's done with consultation with us like this. This is a very good shining example of just that.
The pier will also be a space to celebrate ceremony, cast a line, or simply enjoy the water.
Not only will it provide an opportunity to get a great view of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, but it really does celebrate the region's culture, which is a key priority for us.
The project is projected to cost about $2.5 million, $950,000 of it coming from the Gordie Howe International Bridge Community Benefits Plan, and backed by a long list of local partners, from engineers to college students to steel manufacturers.
This is unique. It's community-based. It's community designed. It's going to be community-built. I think it's probably the best and most exciting benefit project being built on the Canadian side.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Okay, an interesting project there. Well, after the break, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us to talk about the heat warning that's in place and some of the stormy activity enveloping the region.
Where trustees have failed, where students are being shortchanged, we will act.
Still ahead, the province is stepping in with a major move to take over some of Ontario's largest school boards. Why the minister says the government needs to act. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for checking the forecast. And Gary, a heat warning and storms. There's a lot going on in the weather in the region as we head into the weekend.
You're right. Multiple elements coming together, heat and humidity, hence the heat warning, as you point out, Ricardo. And then, of course, that heat and humidity is an integral part of an unstable atmosphere. We saw a few cells migrating across the lower or southern tier of the Michigan into Ohio Valley region, and then of course clipping us with some showers this evening around supper time. Reached a high of 33, our average high is 27. Add to that the cold front sweep right across the heart of the upper Midwestern USA, and especially through Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Those storms tracked from, well, those states into southern and southwestern Ontario in particular, and that posed a few problems in some areas, some localized areas, especially along the eastern shores of Lake Huron, got into some significant gusts and some thunderstorm activity, producing local amounts in that 40-plus range. So rains moving west to east, Michigan into southern Ontario. There's still a continued threat or risk through to tomorrow morning. We'll see residual effects start to move out. A bit of a nice break for Sunday. In fact, morning showers Saturday will give way to sunny conditions across the region in the afternoon. So it's not a complete washout, but as I speak right now, and as the midnight hour approaches, there is potential for some rain. And if we encounter thunderstorms nocturnally, those will pack a bit more of a punch. And I anticipate these numerical values to climb, especially for Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, and the surrounds. Okay, for the next few days, temperatures are going to be warm through the overnight, as they have been. Case in point, 22 degrees. The overnight temperature just 5 degrees rather, shy of a daytime high or average maximum temperature at this time of the year. So it's been muggy and warm through the overnights, early mornings. It will be a muggy, warm weekend. 28 followed by 31, hazy on Sunday, and both days, especially in the afternoon, the UV index is at least 10, so protect yourself. Hazy through the weekend, and then showers Monday. Looks like morning showers passing on Canada Day, and temperatures will be in the low 30s before we get to a cooling period a week from now, Friday, into the mid-20s. Let's look at your weather.
Okay, Gary, thank you for that. Well, new data from Statistics Canada show the country's gross domestic product was down slightly in April. GDP is a key indicator for economists as to the relative health and growth of an economy. It was down 0.1% in April, following a 0.2% increase the month before. So we're seeing that contraction. There was a notable hit to the manufacturing sector with a 1.9% drop, its largest in 4 years. Wholesale trade saw the same decrease, its largest since 2023. Well, that report bleeds into the markets, and of course, Trump's move to terminate trade talks with Canada. You can see there the TSX dropping 60 points. The Dow, though, up 432 points. The Nasdaq climbing 106. The Canadian dollar also falling today. The rest still above 73 cents U.S. Gold down more than $60 an ounce, and oil up 28 cents a barrel.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
The province's education minister says the government is taking control of more school boards, including some of the largest in Ontario. And as CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris tells us, further changes are under consideration.
The education minister making a big statement on the last day of the school year, taking over boards he says have been mismanaged.
Where trustees have failed, where students are being shortchanged, we will act.
Supervisors have been appointed for some of the biggest boards in the country. The Toronto District School Board, Toronto Catholic District School Board, Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board, and the Ottawa Carleton District School Board.
These boards have had multiple opportunities to address their structural financial issues, and time and again, they have failed to do so.
The government singles out TDSB trustees for rejecting almost half the cost-saving measures recommended to them by staff. The Dufferin Peel Catholic Board faces
a whole host of other challenges, which frankly have put it at the brink of bankruptcy, and it's time that the government steps in and puts them back on track.
Supervisors have been charged with getting boards back to balance and on sound financial footing for the long term. But Calandra continues to hint much bigger changes lie ahead.
A broader rethink of the governance structure of boards is required. This is an important first step.
Opposition parties say the real problem is not enough funding.
The government's starting to pick a fight and blaming the situation in education squarely on school boards. I don't think that's balanced or reasonable.
Picking at the appointment of Conservative insiders.
It's not going to make any difference to have a supervisor in there, especially not one with no experience in education, if the government isn't just going to fill that funding gap and make sure that the money is there to provide the supports that our kids need.
At the very end of his announcement, Calandra added that he's directed his ministry
to pause for 1 year any changes to the curriculum so that a more central, more consistent curriculum can be brought forward.
That includes a planned overhaul of the kindergarten program, mandatory learning on the Holocaust and Black Canadian history. Educators are welcoming the delay. The incoming president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation writing in part, a pause in the curriculum rollout is the right move. The process has been rushed with little meaningful consultation with the teachers and education workers expected to deliver it. OSSTF is looking to work with the government to get this right. The goal is to have that curriculum ready for the 2026-27 school year. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Premier Doug Ford announced plans to expand Ontario's use of private surgical and diagnostic facilities in the province today.
These centers will help cut wait times and provide convenient publicly funded care for people in their communities so they can get care when they need it, paid for by their OHIP card, not their credit card.
The Premier pledged $155 million for the initiative over the next 2 years. Those funds will go towards creating 57 new centers for MRI and CT scans, as well as GI endoscopy services. The PCs say the move will help over 1 million Ontarians access those publicly funded procedures with shorter wait times. Well, new numbers show a troubling trend for opioid overdose rates in Windsor-Essex, with the region remaining among the highest in Ontario. Now, the region saw 519 emergency department visits for opioid overdoses. That's the highest on record since 2014. Now, for context, there were 258 ED visits in 2019, much higher last year. The opioid overdose rate in Windsor-Essex sits at 11.09 per 10,000 residents. The provincial average is 7.76. Opioid-related deaths are also on the rise, with 127 fatalities reported in 2023. There were 28.9 deaths per 100,000 residents recorded locally, nearly double the provincial number, with the Ontario average at 16.8. Now, yesterday, the Health Unit moved to push for more funding from all levels of government and that communities like Windsor-Essex be prioritized.
It's pressure on the healthcare partners, on the emergency department. It also talks about the burden on these individuals. Each overdose can lead to permanent brain damage and other issues related to that. So it's very concerning.
And the Health Unit says the measles outbreak in Windsor-Essex may be winding down after an unheard of spike that saw more than 80 confirmed cases in the region through April. Just 2 cases have been confirmed so far this month. Now, since February, the region has recorded 147 cases of measles. Officials are continuing to encourage parents and guardians to ensure their children are vaccinated against measles to protect against the potentially deadly virus. There's more news and your weather recap straight ahead after the break.
Pure Country 89, Windsor's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
NASA has released a new image suggesting water once flowed on Mars. The picture shows a series of crisscrossing ridges known as a boxwork pattern. They're believed to have formed from groundwater trickling through rock cracks billions of years ago. Minerals left behind by the water hardened within the rock, and after eons of sandblasting, the rock was carved away, revealing the network of ridges. The images were captured by NASA's Curiosity rover. Okay, Gary is back with a wrap of the 7-day forecast. Gary, we're watching rain into tonight and into tomorrow.
You're right about that, Ricardo. Showers through the overnight into tomorrow morning, then moving a little bit further east and southeast from us, and that means Saturday afternoon isn't so bad at all. 28 degrees will feel like about 34, 35 at that juncture. Hazy and sunny on Sunday, up to 31, feeling like about 38 to 40. Monday showers likely, 31. And then we'll look at temperatures near 30 degrees on the nose. Canada Day with morning showers, and then fairer weather through the midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, before cooling off a week from now, Friday. Could be even 1.5 degrees below seasonal 7 days from now. Wherever you are, happy Canada Day in advance, and enjoy your weekend and your weather.
Okay, well, I think that might be a welcome cool down. And before we leave you tonight, get ready for the sounds of Scotland in Windsor as bagpipes are set to roar tomorrow night. Champion 78th Fraser Highlanders Pipe Band will take the stage Saturday night at the Fogelar Furland Club. Now, the event promises an evening of Scottish culture, heritage, and music. The night will be hosted by a familiar face to our viewers. That is, of course, former CTV anchor Jim Crichton. The show runs from 7 to 9, and attendees are encouraged to bring canned goods or monetary donations to support local food banks.
It's going to be so much fun, and to hear some of the music that, well, the pipes that will be playing, and then knowing that you're giving back to the community, bring those canned goods. And it's, $27 and change to come, and cash at the door, $30. How can you miss out?
Yeah, hearing those pipes, always a stirring experience. Well, that'll be tomorrow, so maybe something to go check out. That is our time this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again on Monday. Until then, I'm Ricardo, Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.